The University of Wisconsin-Green Bay is a multi-campus comprehensive university whose culture and vision reflect a deep commitment to diversity, inclusion, social justice, civic engagement, and educational opportunity at all levels. Its core values embrace community-based partnerships, collaborative faculty scholarship, and innovation. The Center for Civic Engagement at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay fosters a culture of public service and engagement by providing programs and resources that facilitate the development of civic identity for students, faculty and staff, and community members, and the sustainability of mutually beneficial partnerships aimed at greater justice in the world. In pursuit of UWGB's mission, the center promotes excellence and service to the community through its deep commitment to diversity, inclusion, social justice, civic engagement, and educational opportunity. It embodies the university's core value of community-based partnerships and facilitates problem-focused service learning. The center also enacts the University of Wisconsin system's commitment to extend knowledge and its applications beyond the boundaries of our institution. The CCE team consists of 3 part-time staffers. There are 2 co-directors, Drs. David Corey and Katya Levintova, who are also full-time professors and are actively involved in the university and Green Bay community. Ashley Heath serves as the program coordinator for the center, in addition to her work as a part-time lecturer on campus. Without any full-time staff, and with all 3 part-time team members also responsible for teaching and other administrative duties, the center struggled to maintain its existing programming in spring 2020. By applying to host an AmeriCorps member, the center aimed to increase its bandwidth so that it could continue pressing forward to advance its mission. The Civic Scholars Leadership Program, piloted during the 2019-2020 academic year, is a flagship program for the CCE and was designed to prepare sophomore students to become civic professionals and citizen leaders through sustained interdisciplinary civic engagement and scholarship with a focus on the city of Green Bay. Through workshops in the fall semester, students visit community organizations with specific sector focuses such as education, environment, arts, history, and more. Students learn from community leaders about the opportunities and challenges that face the city of Green Bay, while also exploring their own civic identities. Students gain knowledge of civic, nonprofit, and business infrastructure in the greater Green Bay area, strengthen their ability to analyze complex social issues, and connect and apply knowledge from their civic engagement experiences back to their areas of study. In spring, students have the opportunity to conduct an entry-level internship with a partner community organization, giving them the opportunity to apply what they have learned in the classroom to a real-world work setting and gain valuable job experience in a field relevant to their goals and interests. The objectives for this VISTA project include building capacity for the CCE and strategically planning for the sustainability and expansion of the Civic Scholars Program, the evaluation of the program on 3 different measures, increasing retention, persistence to graduation, and fostering the growth of civic skills, habits, and identity, as well as to identify and overcome barriers to community engagement opportunities for low-income students. Civically engaged students have well-developed knowledge, skills, values, and motivation to make a difference in the civic life and vitality in our communities. Civic engagement in the curriculum helps students learn how to participate in democracy, how to be effective agents of change in their communities, and how to deliberate across differences. According to the Association of American Colleges and Universities, students who are actively engaged in the classroom and the community tend to remain on strong academic paths and persist to graduation, often seeking higher levels of education and becoming future community leaders. Low-income students are not always able to take advantage of opportunities to engage in the community, such as internships and service learning, that help students succeed in education, the workforce, and as citizens. Some of the capacity building efforts that I've either led or been involved in include the evaluation of last year's Civic Scholar cohort, the presentation of a CCE expansion plan to the provost office, the creation of an evaluation tool to measure civic skills, habits, and identity, the development of a civic engagement certificate proposal, general support for this year's Civic Scholar cohort, the creation of a social media presence for the center, the formulation of a recruitment plan for future Civic Scholar cohorts. A glance at the graph below shows the size of the cohorts for the last 3 years. COVID reduced last year's cohort to 6 students. This year's cohort numbered 9 students. And after the implementation of the recruitment plan, next year's cohort is set to be almost double that, with 16 students currently registered. I also co-authored a Department of Education Child Care Access Means Parents in Schools, or C-Campus, grant that was awarded over $320,000 over 3 years. The funds will be used to give stipend support to low-income student parents to help them access child care options. This support will allow student parents to take on more credit hours, participate in high-impact practices, and increase retention. Some next steps for this project include further institutionalizing and expanding the Center for Civic Engagement, continuing evaluation of the Civic Scholars Program, completion of the development of the Civic Engagement Certificate Program, and strengthening community partnerships. Many of the challenges faced during this service year were COVID related. Multiple Civic Scholar site visits and internships needed to be conducted virtually, and communication was often slower due to COVID-related work conditions. One of our Civic Scholars from the 2020-2021 cohort said this about her experience. I am so grateful for this experience, and I know that as I continue on my path of civic leadership, it is because of this program that I was able to get some traction as I move forward. These connections will blossom with time and will help me to be an agent of change for Green Bay. Some quick final thoughts. The performance measure for this project, the number of students earning a post-secondary degree, is immeasurable at this early stage, and there is some difficulty in providing more statistics or proof of change. This is largely due to this being an essentially new center with an essentially new civic engagement program tailored to sophomore students. There have only been 2 cohorts, so as of yet, there is no way of comparing, say, graduation rates against the university as a whole, and no data was collected on that first cohort at all. Data collection and evaluation has begun on the second cohort, but because the semester has just ended, that data is still being finalized for analysis. So expect more numbers for next year's project showcase. Financial support for Civic Scholars internships would likely help lower barriers for low-income students. We all know that college is expensive and it can be difficult for low-income students to take on the additional burden of an unpaid internship. Word of mouth and social media marketing methods were the most effective for recruitment. The outlook for the program and the CCE is generally positive post-COVID. However, the project is not currently sustainable, and there is not yet a plan in place for post-Vista. Finally, the CCE will need to be expanded for it to increase its capacity. With 3 part-time staffers, there simply isn't enough bandwidth for the center to do all the things it would like to do. Other institutions with a comparable center can be used as a model for UWGB to follow. Thank you.